guidance and motivation for the NEP to get the information from your end. Thank you so much. Thank you, Arsha Madam. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Kavita ma'am. Thank you so much, everyone, for patient learning and patient listening as well. We'll quickly begin with the session two part. The session two is all about knowledge creation and research publication, a pathway for career building. And our resource person would be Principal Dr. Basavaraj sir. And to introduce our resource person, I would like to call Ms. Saira Banu Sheikh Madam to please highlight and introduce our today's research person for session two.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I, Assistant Professor Sarah Banu Sheikh from Achievers College. It gives me an immense pleasure to introduce our today's resource person, Dr. Basavaraj Sudachi Master. Sir is presently serving as a professor in the Department of Management, Visvesvaraya Technological University, Belgavi. Sir has completed his BCom degree from Karnataka University, MBA in Marketing and Finance from Shivaji University, Kolhapur, MPhil from Alagappa University, Tamil Nadu, and completed his doctorate in 2011 from Shivaji University. He has also a 2 years experience in industry, as he worked for Crompton Graves of Limited Pen Division, Kanpur. Then he joined the KRCES College of BBA and BCA as a coordinator, and then he became its principal. Also worked in at Bharatiya Vidyapit Institute of Management as an assistant professor, in Bharatiya Education Trust College as an associate professor. After that, he joined Sinhagar Institute of Management and Computer Application. Later, he joined back Bharatiya Education Trust Global Business School as a professor and director. On 28th Jan 2014, he is appointed for a prestigious university, Visvesvaraya Technological University, as associate professor. Sir has also a wide contribution in research work. He has presented more than 60 papers in international and national levels. He has published 10 articles in international journals and more than 20 articles in national journals. Under his guidance, 6 students awarded as a PhD and 4 are under process. He has co-authored 4 books on marketing management and research methodology. He is editor of research of VTV International Multidisciplinary. Sir is actively involved in various activities of various universities in multi-capacity, gracing various seminars and conferences as a key resource person, paper setter, examiner, etc. He is university nominee of BOS, Gopte Institute of Technology, also the Board of Study of member for Rajaram, Bapu Institute of Technology, and KLE, Lingaraja College of Business Administration. He worked as a chairperson Board of Examination Management and worked as a chairperson Department of Management. He served as a director IQAC cell with Visvesvaraya Technological University, Belgavi from 2017 to 2022. Sir has a vast experience in teaching in the learning field, and we are fortunate to have a resource person today's FDP. Now, I request Sir to address the audience on the topic of knowledge creation, research publication, a pathway of career building. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, madam. Thank you, Saira Banu, madam. Am I audible to all?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes, madam. Thank you. Nice of you. Shall I share my screen? Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir, it is. Yeah.
Okay. At the very outset, I would like to thank Achievers College for organizing this 5 days FDP program on online mode. And I'm very happy that I am a part of it, because the topics which have been selected for this FDP is really awesome. And when Sophia madam called me and asked for the choosing a topic and all that, it was, I think, only 2 topics were left out of this this was the topic which I liked and I requested, and I was given this topic. I'm very much thankful to you all. I really appreciate the effort of online activities. I will be very happy person to join such kind of program as a participant in online mode. But it is very challenging for me to be a part of that is delivery person on this occasion, because online mode is only talking to just like a mirror rather than having an interaction with the participants. I hope all the participants are hearing or listening to me. Can anybody will just say yes or no? I don't want the organizers to talk. I want some participants. There are 59 people, participants. Am I audible to all?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Nice. Say, at the very outset, I would like to take you towards this research activities, research publication. All of the participants in this FDP are the academicians. I think today academic has become a platform of research. As earlier presentation made by Deshpande sir, he was talking about the new education policy, where the universities, education institutions are classified into research institutions, research and teaching institutions and all that. Based on that, research has become an integral part of education system today. Why so much of importance for research activities? And every faculty today is required to compulsorily publish papers, either to be in this education field or get the promotions in this education field, especially in universities and colleges, unless and until you meet certain API requirement, academic performance index requirements, you may not be able to promote it to the higher business. For example, assistant professors must and should have some academic grade points, where research publications have their own weightage. Apart from teaching, learning and evaluation activities, research and publication must be done by every faculty. So it is a need of the hour. So that is why knowledge creation is possible through research only. Therefore, research has an integral importance, is most important in today's academic section. Earlier, research was conducted by scientists. You might have seen the Newton, who has discovered the gravitation force. Everybody saw the apple falling down, but it was only Newton who asked the question, why it is falling down? Because there was an analytical mind which always thinking in a different direction. Everybody was seeing that the apple was falling down, but he has asked a question, why did apple fall down? Why it did not go up in the air? Because there is something in the earth that led to the innovation of your gravitation force. Based on the gravitation force, a lot of research contributions came out. Today, the aeroplanes, rockets, everything is worked on the gravitation force concept only. The trajectories of projectiles are all calculated. Everything is based on the gravitation force. An element, if it has to go out of the orbit in the form of rocket, if you want to launch, the speed of the rocket should be such that it should be able to go out of the orbit, which should be higher than the gravitation force level. So that is how these concepts came into existence. But today, why education institutions have to should associate with research? Basically, because research is possible for academicians more easily as compared to other people available. The reason is scientists are also today, most of the time are academicians. Most of the academicians are in the institutions working in a scientific way. So they are also considered as a scientist. You might have seen that Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam was a teacher, great teacher. If you take Ramanujan, a great teacher. If you take any person who is invented most of the Jagdish Chandra Bose was a professor. So there is a close association between the scientific innovations and the education institutions, because people who are in the education activities are more connected with the research and development. That is why research and development has become an integral part of our teaching and learning process. One more is today's best knowledge is going to become outdated shortly. In a very few time, today's knowledge becomes outdated. Therefore, you have to add something to new knowledge, existing knowledge, and make it more new. So, for example, When we talk about the social science, in social science, especially in management, what is the best management tool today becomes the outdated tomorrow, because there are a lot of changes happening in the environment, especially in demography. There is a lot of change happening. So what the research paper tells today, what the research gives the outcome today may not be the same after a few days, because there is a change happening. That is why we need to phase out this. We need to be regularly in the field of research and add knowledge to the existing body of knowledge and make it more effective. That is why the topic which was selected for this orientation program, this FDP program, is knowledge creation and research publication. Say, knowledge creation is a continuous process. As I said, any knowledge that is there is not limited. It is going to expand in days to come. There is a change happening. Old education policy came with a new education policy. Old finance policies of the government changed recently. Old FDA policies were changed recently. Why the change need to happen? Why the government has to change its rules and regulations? Why there will be a change in the policies? Why there is a change in the attitude of the human beings and all that? Because the environment itself is changing a lot. Any stringent government policy, if it is static, doesn't change according to the needs of the people, right? It will not be successful because it becomes outdated. So what to change, how much to change, what to bring the new innovations in that always calls for the research. You might have seen today the GST what has been implemented in the finance sector is the outcome of the research activity only. Earlier tax system is converted into new one where the government is trying to cover the maximum portion of the people under tax regime. Today's income tax policies, everything is based on research. What is research actually? It is a continuous analysis of the existing things and finding out the solutions and resolving it. Normally, research will be called when the academic disruption happens. What is an academic disruption? For example, if the existing knowledge is not possible to be solved, the problem, if it is not possible to be solved with the existing knowledge, we have to conduct a research to address the issues. For example, if a patient goes to a doctor, if a doctor checks with the available system that he has with the stethoscope or with the analytical tools and treats the patient, if the patient is cured, no need to investigate further. Doctor is not required to be a researcher. In spite of giving all the antibiotics and medicines, if the disease is not cured, the diseases like COVID-19, if it is identified, then research is required to be conducted. What vaccine has to be identified for the disease? Therefore, there must be a kind of what you call as continuous process of research calls for. Therefore, every academician is need to be a researcher today, because the body of knowledge, the kind of teaching what is doing is not static, it is every time changing. Therefore, out of the experiences what he gains in that particular area, he should add new things to the knowledge and come out with the research work. Whenever you identify any research and whenever you come out with any research outcome, unless and until it is published, unless and until it is put to the public for acceptance, analysis and reading, I think your knowledge has no any meaning. That is why it is made mandatory. In spite of being a researcher, if you are not a publisher of your research activity, it is totally a waste. Therefore, the one more career path that every academician today is a research publication. So publication is a most essential part of your journey of teaching, learning, evaluation and research. Therefore, you have to find innovations in your field. If you are a professor of a marketing, over a period of time, when you teach marketing subject, you will identify certain areas of research and you need to conduct research and find out the solutions to that particular thing. And if you do that, your involvement in understanding dissemination of the knowledge is identified properly. Therefore, it is one of the indicator how many publications you have made. Based on that, your ability, your performance, your level of knowledge is measured. So now publication has become a measuring tool. Today, nobody asks how much asset you have, how many houses you have built, how many things you have built in academics. We only ask how many consultancies you have, how many research papers you have, how many research scholars you have produced to a professor or a teacher. That is why it is bound responsibility of all the teachers to be a researchers and have a publishers be a part of the publication activity. Therefore, I really thank for choosing this topic for all the participants in this academic field. There is a word called publish or perish. If you do not publish, you are going to perish. It means that you must and should get involved into publications today as a part of academic activity. As I mentioned already, NAC also, if at all teacher quality is to be managed in teacher quality. So there is a third criteria in a NAC, that is teaching and consultancy, research and consultancy activity, where it is 250 marks as compared to any other marks calculation. All other parts are 100 marks, whereas research and consultancy is 250 marks, where an institution is measured on the contributions made by the faculty members to the field of research. So therefore, every faculty is analyzed based on that. Total index of the research activities of the faculty is taken care for evaluating that particular marks. The consultancy, what you mean? Because only teaching is not sufficient today. You have to provide the support system to the next generations, support system to the other stakeholders. Therefore, faculty should be a researcher and should be a publisher. Therefore, publication is most important. Next. What is publication actually? When the term publication comes to our mind, only we feel that publication is in a research journal only. There are many ways of publications, but research publication is found to be the most qualitative activity actually. Publication is an activity of making information. It is literature, music, software, and other content available to the public for sale or for free. Traditionally, the term refers to the creation and distribution of printed works such as books, comic, newspapers, and magazines. But today, because of online platform, its area is too wide now. Publications are not only happening in print media, even in the soft media also it is happening today. So publication has a more importance. Publication is nothing but you have to disseminate what new ideas you have generated. You have to present it to the open public. So that is an additional effort you need to make. What you know should be made available to others also. Therefore, today there is a lot of publication sector, publication, what you call as press media and all that, they are coming into picture because there is a lot of input that can be given to the public. Therefore, media is acting like that. So lot of research journals have come today. There are n number of research journals. Even for example, the Scopus Index, if you consider, there are 36,778 research paper, research what you call as magazines, research journals are available in the Scopus. Like that, if you see Web of Sciences, there are one more 30,000 Web of Science journals you can see. There are many more things in Google Scholar also it is going to identify based on that. Springer we have. Like that, there are n number of what you call as research journals are coming to help the people to publish their information. So publication is an activity of information, literature, music, whatever is there, you have to present it to people. In case of research is concerned in academics, we consider research publication the most prime important. I don't say that this is the only thing. Even in the music schools and all that, researches are conducted on musical these things. In what do you call as software industries, or new softwares are also developed, and many things are being presented, and all they are coming in the research publications also in the form of research activity. If the publication satisfies the following important three conditions, that publication can be considered a research publication. All publications are not research publications, but all research publications are publications only. They are publications, but how do you differentiate between the ordinary publication and a research publication? The first and foremost condition that you to satisfy the research article or research activity is it should be an original work. The study represents the results of the original research. It means that what the knowledge you have created, what the research paper you have created should not have been published anywhere. It should be a new idea, new approach, new thing. That is the first criteria to call it as a research publication. Second one is results reported have not been published anywhere. Then nobody has yet received it. So that should be the original work of the researcher. Next one is the research publication should be based on experiments, statistics, and other analysis are performed to high technical standards and are described in sufficient detail. When you call a research, research is always evidenced with facts and figures. Without facts and figures, research has no any meaning. That is the ultimate thing of it. Many people write article, but if the article is not substantially supported with evidence, whatever you are speaking has no any meaning. It could be an entertainment novel. Entertainment novel or a kind of comics cannot be called as a research publication because it is a hypothetical, not having any evidential substantial. But a research publication which is having a hypothesis in it, if it is proved with the collected data, if it is proved with the substantial experiments, that is called as research report. That is called as research publication. That is called as research paper. Therefore, the writers must be aware of this, that whatever they mention it as a research activity, it should always be backed up by experiments, statistics, and calculations and related aspects. It should be evidence with the facts and figures. If at all I say the population of India is getting educated year after year, if I say this, it doesn't become a research outcome. If at all you want to make this as a research outcome, take the 10 years data of the population literacy level, enrollment level for education, and calculate with a certain kinds of statistical figures like regression analysis, time series analysis, and prove there is a percentage growth happening, then this would become a historical research activity, because your data is historical, you are working with it, you are exploring the old data and trying to talk about that. That is what we call as research activity, research paper. So anything that you mention just in a oral, that is not a research. It should always be backed up by this. So if you see the type of research publications which is available for the academicians today is of 6 different types that you can work with. One is called as review article. Research articles could be even review articles. The literature based on the literature study, what you call as exploring the literatures of the old happenings, you can also prepare new one out of it, which can also be called as review article. Second one would be original article. Original in the sense your own idea that you generate and work on that. For example, recently I have published one article in the journal which has received a lot of appreciations from the readers. The article is talking about work from home and its impact on the organizations, on the organizational performance. You might have seen work from home was not a concept before COVID-19. It was there, but it was very negligible. But after COVID-19, you might have seen a lot of IT professionals and all that started identifying the possibilities of work from home, and they started working from the home. So it has helped to the organization in many ways. One is it has started reducing the cost of operations for organizations. Customer satisfaction was very highest because employees are working from home, and at any point of time, if there is a requirement from the customers, they could be able to support from the home. So this was a very impact created. Nobody has thought of this. So we have made the analysis of all this and presented the data. It has received a lot of this. So what we call is a new idea. Has work from home created any impact on the organization? Has it created any impact on the workers? Are workers who are having a work from home are satisfied out of it? So such kind of what you call as questions, if you answer through your research work, it becomes a very good research original article. We have another part is that we can see a little bit in detail each one of this. Review articles are an attempt to summarize the current state of understanding on the topic. A review article is representing a previously published material rather than reporting the new facts. For example, previously reported information. Take an example. Today, many a time in our class, we talk about Porter's 5 forces model. We talk about Pavlovian's classical conditioning theory. We talk about law of diminishing marginal returns of Marshall. So many kinds of things we discuss in the class. But have we ever tested that these concepts are still working? For example, the law of diminishing marginal utility, which was discussed which was discussed by Marshall's economics theory. What he talks about is, the more the consumption happens, the less the utility you will get out of it. There are conditions that he has implemented. Like, for example, the consumption should be continuous. It should be for certain kinds of items. There are certain exceptions to the rule and all that. Can you ever tested whether it is really working even in certain organizations? For example, the workers who are joined for the job, after a few years of a time, they lose the interest in the job because the monotonous job creates the less returns on their happiness. Happiness will be less over a period of time. So it is a law of diminishing returns. Can we change this by doing some change there? If I increase the salary, or if I give him a different work environment, or if I give him a certain time of what you call as a gap in his job, or promote him to the higher level, or give him a higher responsibility, will there be difference in his efficiency? Why does it happen? It is subject to that. Take one organization and study the employees' behavior, and based on that, you identify whether this diminishing utility is working or not. Would be a great contribution where the new generation will understand the old concept effectively. So like that, there are many ways where these principles can be applied and we can conduct the research. These are called as reviewing the old concepts with the new facts and figures and finding out the research. Another one is budget review articles and all that. Every time it comes in the newspapers, magazines, and even as a research article in many research papers. So that could also be, because budget information is already available, and you just take it out and apply it to certain, whether the new budget has created any impact on the foreign direct investment inflow in our country. If you want to test this, what are the changes happened? What will its impact after the 6 months of the time of implementing the new budget? Whether FDI is increased or decreased? What has happened? Is there any correlation between the budget and the change happening in the FDI inflow? This could be the review articles that we can go for. Original articles, these are also based on the empirical analysis. Normally, for the original articles, we collect the primary data, or sometimes it is a experimental data. Primary data, please don't confuse. It is not only collected through survey, because whenever I ask the students of PhD, what is primary data? They say that is a first-hand collected data through survey. Not necessarily it should be a survey. It could be even observational study. It could be even experimental kind of a thing and all that. So by doing all that, if you generate a new figures out of that and present that particular thing, could be an original article. Experimental research could also be. In case of experimental research, it is normally a scientific research activity where you have a control on one variable and you are trying to check it on the other variable, how it happens. Two chemicals, one chemical, you have a control on that, you put it on the other chemical and see the reactions and find out the new out of it. So this is all experimental researches. So this kind of laboratory researches and all that are done by the technical people. But we being in the management field, I hope all the participants are from commerce field, right? So when we are in the commerce field, we are in the society, we are in the social science. So the experimental research could be behavioral analysis of the people towards the strategies implemented in the market, strategies implemented in the job, this thing, or the organizational strategies and its impact. These things you can have experiments through collecting the data. Next, we have book chapters. You might have already seen. You can contribute for the books published by certain publishers. They ask for contribution, research-based contributions for some chapters. For example, if the AI tools development things are coming in the market, if somebody wants to write a book on that, he will ask for people to contribute. AI in education, AI in medical science, artificial intelligence in the civil engineering, like that. They compile the different contributions from the researchers and make the book of that. That is where you are writing to a book chapters, where you are remunerated for particular lineages, particular kind of articles, what you submit, and you can have the patent of that also along with the these things. So such kind of things, when the people refer that, your citation will also increase accordingly. So book chapters contribution is one more opportunity for the researchers in the field of publication career. You can publish your own books also. Many of faculty members over a period of time teaching the same subject, they will get the mastery over that, and understanding the requirement of the particular students, they can even write the books on their own. And there are new knowledges today. For example, in our business field, business analytics has emerged. business analytical tools such as application of Python in decision making or AI tools in decision making. There are no books available. Everything is only internet based, and studying each and every internet websites and all that, and collecting the data and compiling that and preparing for examination is a very difficult task for the students. Now, there is a good chance for the faculty members to write the books on this, so that when they write the compilation of all this can also be a publication for them, and it will fetch them very good this thing. Now we have two different types of publications. One is textbook publications and another is general reading books like motivational, entertaining, technical writings and all that. You might have seen the Shiv Khera's You Can Win book has got a very much good award, blockbuster selling book. It has fetched him a lot of name and fame and also a lot of money in that particular thing. And like that, Rasmi Bansal's Connect the Dots, Stay Hungry, Stay Foolish book, Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. These are all called as general writings. That is also possible to write down and attract the people towards that. If at all you have that equipment, you can even go for publishing these kind of things. Also, there is a career in this. Textbooks are also, for example, for particular university or particular syllabus, you can write down in the easiest way so that people can easily buy or easily understand your concepts and all that. So you can sell it to that particular segment of the students who are under that particular university. So if it is accepted by the university authorities and published through university sites, you have a lot of royalty connected to that. Books are normally published through expert publishing houses. Most of the books are subject to copyrights. Books can be in the form of printed or online. Today, online publication is also possible. The another possibility of publication is a conference publication. If you are not able to publish in the research journals, you can have even conference publications. The new researchers, the people who are entering into the research field for the first time, if they want the feedback on their research activities, they can participate in conference things. Conferences are organized by the universities, institutions now and then, and they will be conducting the conference on particular theme. If you submit your paper article there, and if you are called for presentation, when you make a presentation, the committee will be giving their opinions, so that there will be more learning possibility. And some conferences which conference papers which are accepted by the conference will be coming out with the proceedings of the conference in the form of ISBN publications and all that. So there is a chance of getting your paper published there. So you have a citation and all kinds of things available for that also, is also one of the possibility. So it is made mandatory to all the faculty members here to at least attend 2 or 3 conferences in their domain area and develop the knowledges. When you attend a conference, there is not only a possibility of presenting a paper, but also you are able to hear the contributions made by other people, so that the total knowledge can also be developed in that. So that is one more possibility. Different ways of research publications. If you see, if you want to publish your these things, you have different ways of publication. One is academic and scientific journals. You have number of journals available. Trade journals are available, popular scientific magazines are available, and newspapers are also quite common possibles. Most of the what you call as writers can contribute to newspapers also. They can get the name and fame, and their idea will be communicated to people. You will get a lot of appreciations, a lot of remarks on your activities. That's also possible. Academic and scientific journal contributions, if you see, these types of journals are periodicals, often discipline specific, in the sense that if it is a management specific journals are there. They are called as academic and scientific journals in the field of management. Again, in the field of management, finance is another part of it, marketing is another part of it. You could find out what you call as knowledge related subjects. The related journals are available. So they are called as academic scientific journals. There are a number of journals available around you, so that you can take use of it and publish your ideas in that. And in this academic and scientific journal, you have hybrid journals, mega journals, and overlay journals. What is a hybrid journal? They are a traditional subscribed journals. Normally, there are subscribers for this. One payment, if you make, you will get the several articles out of that particular subscription mode. So that is what we call as hybrid journals. We have mega journals, which are internationally identified. Mega topics are covered there. Such kind of journals are also available. You can publish there. Overlay journals are not the journals actually, but they are having the abstract list. So if you want to buy any information for your research activity and all that, that abstract, if you read and click there and pay the fees, it will take you to that particular publish journal and you can download that. So that's called as such kind of nutshell journals are also available. You can have the publications in such kind of thing. Trade journals. Trade journals are the journals which are related to particular trade or profession. Like for example, medical related journals, law related journals. There are certain kinds of journals where the professionals will enhance their knowledge by reading these publications. For example, in the field of medical science, in the field of oncology. So the new innovations carried out in America, new innovations carried out in Germany will be published in the form of oncology journals, in the journals. Oncology journals are the feeding information journals for many practitioners in all other part of the world. So the professionals, especially doctors in the oncology, will update their knowledge looking at that. Recently, for example, the ibrutinib product which was identified in America has become quite common aware to many people for blood cancer. Ibrutinib is a very good source of this thing. Earlier, people used to undergo chemotherapy, but this is an oral tablet which is reducing. Because of that, the prognosis, the span of death can be enhanced in this field. So this is made aware to people through the innovations made in one part of America and has come to that professionals to the other part of the world. And today, ibrutinib has covered almost all part of the world. Earlier, it was not in India, but recently, just 1.5 years back, you could find out even the ibrutinib available, medicine is available in India. So like that, there are many kind of innovations happening in this world. Even in the legal, these things also law. For example, if you want to cite particular case and try to present it in the court of law, such kind of case publications are made through certain law journals. So that is what we call as trade professional journals. You have to subscribe for it, pay for it, and then only journal will be available. You can use that because they are all patented. Magazines, you know that magazines have little bit high span of survival, 15 days, 1 month, like that. Time of survival is mentioned. So these magazines could be business magazines or it could be economic magazines, like that. There are a number of magazines available. You can contribute your what you call as writing informations or your research work even in this magazines also. But unfortunate part is magazines don't have index citations and all that. So it will not be counted for your academic performance. That is why we always insist to publish your papers in the research journals rather than in trade journals or in magazines. Even in trade journals also you can do it. But for trade journals to publish your information, you must and should have a specific qualifications and membership. Then only you can do it. Otherwise, you cannot do that. Newspaper publications are concerned, it is on day-to-day basis on culture, science, economics, politics, society, entertainment, and all that. You can publish many kinds of articles in this also. But newspaper publications may help you to get the social recognition, but it may not be professionally supportive for you in many cases. How to prepare a research paper? When we are talking, the main goal of our this FDP program is to make the participants aware of the research papers rather than any other publications. Try to concentrate on research paper more. It could be even the review letter papers also, you can do that, but at least start the research paper preparations. How to begin the research paper? It is a big story. I may not be able to do all that. The basic information that I can give. First one is you have to choose a research topic for preparing the research paper. How to choose a research topic? First of all, you should be able to identify the research problem. Research problem should be supported with particular idea. Then you can come out with the research topic. Normally, most of the publishers, what they do is they identify their paper or the conference, what kind of a topic they are selecting. Based on that topic, they convert the research. They prepare the research paper. Such kind of expert researchers are also there. If you have a specific research idea, you can publish that research idea in the form of this thing. So topic preparation is most essential. When you prepare the topic, the title of the research should include the objective of your research, limitations and all that. For example, it could be an impact of foreign direct investment on economic performance of the developing countries. If at all you want to talk this, it is a research ideal topic. Why? Foreign direct investment is a variable. Economic development is a variable. Normally, research talks about the relationship between the variables, or you are talking about some logic. So the topic will be more research topic because you can have dependent and independent variables easily available. If you collect the total amount of foreign direct investment entered in the country over a period of time and find its impact on the growth of the GDP, growth of the employment opportunities, growth of the profitability of the mergers and acquisitions happened with the foreign companies, you could be able to understand whether it has created a positive impact or negative impact, and based on that you can give a comment on that. So like that, we need to identify the research topic. Remember, any topic that you take up for the research activity should have a social relevance, should have a benefit to the public, and there should be a scope for further research activity possible in that. That's why it is the ultimate first step, very crucial step in the research paper writing, choosing the topic for the research. It should be acceptable and the research should have benefit. Outcome of that should have some impact on the society. It should be useful for some people. Then develop a research statement and decide the research objectives and hypothesis. Research objectives have to be specifically decided. Research objectives could be achieved either through the primary data or through the secondary data. How you are going to achieve those objectives, you have to mention specifically in that. For example, wanted to evaluate the performance of the IT sector in India. IT sector in India is one of the objectives of your research. So performance of the IT industries can be achieved through secondary data easily, because if you take the index of the sales, index of all that financial figures, you can easily identify the performance. You can also identify the performance of the employees, opinions of the employees through primary research also. So like that, you have to decide the objectives. Each objective should be achieved through that particular research analysis. Remember, it is not necessary that you should take 10, 12 objectives to make it more effective. Even 1 or 2 objectives for one particular research paper. And if you work hard particularly on that, and if it is properly collected the data and analysis is made, that research can become a effective research also. Collection, analysis, and interpretation of data. Hypothesis, there is a huge discussion on that. I don't want to go in detail. It is a hunch that a researcher creates before undertaking a research. When he identifies there is a correlationship between FDI and the economic growth. So this is what the alternative hypothesis they normally develop, and they will test it with the result and with the research data that they collect. And either they will accept the null hypothesis or not. This is how the total blah blah is. So you need to undergo this kind of a technical analysis. What test I have to apply for testing the hypothesis and all that. So more crucial part of the research activity is substantially supporting your objectives and your hypothesis with the research data and make it more effective. Then create a research paper outline. How to present the paper outline, that is most important, because normally every research starts with abstract, because abstract is an index. Before going to the reader, before going through all the details of your research, you will just read the abstract. Once he reads the abstract, you will come to know the gist of it. It is a theme of your activity. So you have to prepare the outline, abstract, then introduction and all that steps you have to. Create a rough draft of the research report first, because in the initial draft, it will not be effective. And you have to redraft it again and again to make it more effective in discussing with all your experts around you. Take help of certain kinds of literature people, take the help of your experts, guides and all that, and make it more effective. Because on the contrary, on your own single effort, research paper may not become that much effective if your knowledge, ability and writing skills are not good. Don't worry if you don't have good writing skills. Today, there are a lot of tools available, a lot of people available to help you. Take use of that. Initially, it becomes difficult. Later on, it becomes a character and they become the good researchers. This is my request to the new researchers who always lose their heart in publishing the data. Many they think what happens, if at all I want to publish in a Scoopers Index journal, if I want to publish in high quality journals, whether my journal paper will be accepted or not. The reason could be the language barrier. If it is language is not up to the mark, if the words are not that much level, if the plagiarism is identified continuously because of a simple word usage, so there is a difficulty. So therefore, drafting is crucial and required to be tested again and again with the plagiarism things. Incorporate the suggestions of the reviewers and resubmit. Once you submit it, normally for any research journal, there will be a peer review. Your journal will go to the experts, they will review your journal, and based on that, your quality of the research will be marked out, and they will give you suggestions. If at all it can be accepted with the suggestions, incorporate those suggestions and resubmit it. If it is rejected, then identify what the reason it is rejected and try to work upon those weaknesses and next time come up with a very good result. But at any point of time, don't lose the heart once your research paper is rejected. Rejection should ignite more interest in you to take up the research activities. So research journal and research publication identification number, that everybody knows this ISSN number and ISBN number, because today what happened, because of the online presentations and all that, it is become very easy to trace your research activity, to trace your research work. So research authors are recognized provided if their research work is used by the public, used by the other people. If your research article is cited in some of these others research work, so you will get the citation numbers also. That is why every research publication is given the number. One is called as ISSN number. Normally it is given for journals. ISBN is for books. And it is a new style of giving these things and all that. Just within last 20 years back, this has come into picture. Earlier, these citations, ISBN and all these things were not there. But right now, if you publish in ISSN number, you have identification in the list of presentations, related things. Remember, while you are publishing the article in any journals, please check whether it has a ISSN number or not. If it is not having an ISSN number, it is just like publishing in the newspaper, will not have any authentic contributions, or you will not get any API score for that particular thing. Even if it is ISSN, whether the circulation is good or not, H index is there or not, all these kind of things you need to identify, that we will discuss later on. So these are the two kinds of things. Next, important keywords used in the research journal. So normally most of the new researchers will have questions what these words are. What is citation? What is impact factor? What is H index? What is item index? What is patent? Normally these are the normal questions which come to new researchers. I hope if at all anybody is aware of this, please excuse me, because I thought this is also one of the important points to be discussed in this FDP program. What is citation? Citation is an identifies for the reader the original source for an idea, information, or image that is referred to in a work in the body of a paper. The in-text citation acknowledges the source of information used at the end of the paper. Citations are compiled on a reference or a works cited. Citation means from which source you have taken the information for your research work. Remember, there is a huge risk of plagiarism today happening. If you steal certain informations from certain sources and without giving the citation of that, if you publish, it becomes a criminal offense today in research publications. And remember one important thing today, every journal site publications, what you do can be easily traced out. And if at all there is any plagiarism happening out, if it is identified by the original writer, he may claim for the damages on you for stealing the information from his research work. Therefore, if at all you are using any idea of other researchers and using in your research activity, you have to give a citation of that in the reference. That is what we call as citation. Citation in the context, for example, FDI will flow from low capital demand country to high capital demand country. So this is the citation where Dr. Basavaraj has published this article. I have to mention that like this, and then giving the full details in the things. In the text itself, you can give this is what text citation. Then this can also be given in the reference under the API format, APA format. American Psychological Association, APA format, is given the format source, how your publication should be cited in your research. That is what we call as publication. APA format is followed standard format throughout the world today. Even for any kind of new researches and all that, if you are giving in the references, even in the PhD thesis, you should follow this format as a standard format for giving the references and citations of the work that you have done. For the first one is the author's name, second one is year, third one is title of the article from which you have taken the information. Maybe book also, you can have this citation is a book. Then journal title, from which title you have taken, article title, journal title, name of the journal. Suppose if you have taken it from marketing journal or Indian Financial Journal, so you have to write that that also, and volume also, and also page number. And if it is published through online sources, you have to give the citations, that is the URL number, URL address has to be mentioned there. So this is the standard format. If you do it, any kind of knowledge that you have used, the researchers' information, other researchers' things will not become the what you call as plagiarism. Okay. Next one is why citation is most essential in cases. To give credit to the source authors, you have to respect the original authors and give a credit to them because they have worked before you and they develop that particular knowledge. When you are using their knowledge from their publications, if you are using, you have to give them some what you call as identification. That is what citation is must. To help your audience, reader, find out more about your research, arguments, ideas, and topics. If at all any reader of your journal wanted to know something detail about the cited information, he can go to that particular site or go to the particular book or go to particular journal, and he can read extensively that particular original writing from which you have taken the idea for your publications. That is one more idea. So to help the readers to enhance the possibility of getting the original source for his knowledge. To strengthen your work, to be providing outside support to your idea, strengthen the work. That is one more requirement to avoid plagiarism issues. That is most important. Citation, if you give it in your references, if you mention, so there is a less chance of any plagiarism issues in your publications. That is most essential. Next one is, why do I need to cite any this thing? When you use words, thoughts, ideas, etc. of someone else, you have to give a citation. When should you use the citation? Whenever you use any thoughts, ideas of somebody else, you have to mention that particular thing. Suppose, for example, you have taken the 5 forces Porter's information model for strategy building. And if you have taken it from that particular Porter's book, you have to mention the book and everything, because Porter, even if he is not knowing that you have stolen it, but it is the culture and it is the attitude that you should develop to give his citation must and should. When you directly quote any information from some books and all that, for example, definitions, for some examples of the concepts, if you are directly copying, you have to compulsorily give the citation. When you paraphrase certain informations directly, if you are collecting that also, when you use or reference an idea or thought that has already been expressed by somebody else, in that case also you should give a citation. Anything which is not your own, and if you are getting it from some sources authentically, that particular idea, then you have to quote that. When you make any references to another source, when others' idea, words or thoughts have influenced your writing and research, for example, if you are expressing the views of some authors, in that case, you have to give the citation compulsory. What is the impact factor? Very crucial one. Most of the people today are wanted to know what the impact factor is. Impact factors are used to measure the importance of the journal. Citation is the responsibility of the researcher. Okay, he has to quote the word things which he has taken from other researchers and mention it in your research. Impact factor is the measuring the quality of the journal, how the journal quality is. Impact factors are used to measure the importance of the journal by calculating the number of times selected articles are cited when the last few years, within the last few years. For example, if the last few years, how many times these journal articles have been quoted by the public, by the users, that talks about the importance of the journal. Any journal article is published, if it is not read by any researcher or any other people, such journal has a less importance. Such journal have less importance. Therefore, minimum citation needs to be there to call it as a research journal. So therefore, journals are always producing a qualitative article publications in order to help the other people to use in their things. So therefore, renowned journals are referred frequently by the researchers, other readers, and they use the information for their things. When they use it, like you are citing the others' contribution, your contribution will also be cited by others. So likewise, when they are cited, the journal citation impact factor is calculated. Journal impact factor is calculated. Impact factor can be calculated after completing the minimum of 3 years. Remember, any new journal which is introduced in the market will not have any citations unless and until it completes 3 years. After the 3rd year, old things which have been cited will come into picture, and you can calculate the citation factors. So for that reason, journal, if cannot be calculated, the citation number cannot be calculated for new journals. Journal with the highest impact factor is the one that is published the most commonly cited articles over a 2 years period. The impact factor applies only to journals, not to individual articles or individuals. It is for a journal quality. Citation talks about the quality of the journal. Sorry, impact factor talks about the quality of the journal. The more the impact factor, the higher is the quality of the journal. So therefore, if you want to select any journal for publication of your article, please identify one of the parameter of testing the quality of the journal is its impact factor. If the higher the impact factor, then you choose that one required. So that is how. The citation, this Clarivate Web of Journals headquartered in London calculates the declares the impact factor, and today even Scopus is also having that, and Google Scholar is also trying to do that. So impact factors and all these things are calculated by these softwares, and they qualify the journals with that particular thing. Now the next word is H index. H index is the calculation of the author's quality of the research. So impact factor is for journal and H index factor is for researchers. If at all H index of the author, it is individually calculated for authors. For example, if my H index is higher, it means that if my H index is 4.5 or 10, it means that my published articles have been cited for 10 times by 10 people in different places of the world. That is what it talks about. It means that your quality of research contribution is admired by many people, and they have used that particular new idea in their further researches. That is what your H index will be calculated, and you will be assigned with it. If you go to Google Scholar and type your name there, and if you have published articles in the good research journal, automatically your H index is calculated by the Google Scholar, and it will be depicted there. The higher the H index factor, the higher the citations that have been made for your research paper by other researchers. That is what we call as H index. That is H index is calculated by Google Scholar, Web of Science, and Scopus. The higher is the H index value, the higher is the quality of the research work of the system. I would have explained with an example here, but time is very short. I may not be able to take up this assignment. Next, I10 index is one more calculation of this thing. It is developed by the Google recently. I10. What is I10 means? The author I10 index is the number of articles published by an author that have received at least 10 citations. Impact factor can be, H index can be less than 10. It could be 5, it could be 6. What is the 6 means? Out of the total publications that you have made, your average citation of your publication is 6 times by others is a H index. If it is 10 or something else, it is classified as 10 index, I10 index by Google, and it is renowned as the highest rank in the researching activity. So such research scholars are highly admired. So NAC and all other people which are evaluating the accreditation process and all that, they will look into the quality of teacher through looking into H index and I10 index of the individual faculty members. If a lot of faculty members have a I10 index, so its quality of the faculty is very high. That is how the NAC authorities consider. And if the H factor is also good, that is also considered. So the old researchers who have already published several number of research publications, if their I10 index is less than 10, if their I10 index is not there, it means that their quality of work is not that much superior. You can say like that. So this is one of the parameters of evaluating this. What is patent? Patents are the rights generated to an inventor that allows them to intellectual property right. You might have seen that patents today comes under intellectual property right. Any of your new knowledge can be registered like an asset, where you cannot, nobody can steal that asset. Like that, your new researches, new contributions made in the society can be patented. Once you patent it, anybody who is using your resources, you cannot use it without your permission. And if at all you are expecting certain kinds of fees and payments for that, he has to pay you and use it. That is why we call as patent in layman terms. There are three types of patents that you can create as a researcher. One is design patent. Anyone who creates a new design for the product can apply for a design patent. Examples include beverage bottles. Think of the shape of the Coca-Cola container, any kinds of new innovations that you have made. Recently, one of our students in the college, in the technical college, has invented for particularly, it is application of sensor, the remoting sensor to a water heater. See, water kettle, water heater, kettle, new kettle. You can switch it off and switch on that water kettle without touching the water kettle from the far distance. It is nothing but using the television remote sensor and applying it in the what you call as kettle. That's a new innovation idea. He has patented that. And recently, that Milton has purchased his patent, and they paid a huge amount of royalty for using that particular thing. So there are a lot of innovations happen. That is a designing patterns and all that. Even for plants in the field of agriculture also, if you identify any kinds of new manure which can enhance the quality of the fruit or flower, or if you develop any new kinds of hybrid plant forms and all that, you can register those also as a patent. Today is possible. This is also called as a research activity. Utility patent means anyone who invents, discovers any new useful utility of that particular thing can also be patented. For your kind information, today the turmeric powder, which every one of us know, turmeric powder is used for allergies and all that as a medicines in Indian context. But unfortunate part is its usage is patented by Americans. They call this turmeric as a curcumin, and they experimented this curcumin in killing the cancer cells in an Ayurvedic way. And they have experimented it and proved it and registered as a patent. And today, if at all, even Indians wanted to use this turmeric as a medicine in the form of curcumin, that is the essence of the turmeric, you have to pay patents to that particular American company. This is how they have taken it, things from us. Everybody knows it, but research was conducted and proved in the experimental way, and that is considered as a medicine by the medicine authority of the country. So this is how research happens many a time. That is a utility patenting and all that you can. You can even make the copywriting of your research work and also patent your research work, that is publications also. Patents in publications, these researchers can patent their published works, that it can be protected from copying and using the content. The use of the articles can be restricted only to subscribers. It is also known as copyright. Normally, the authors who publish books can get the copyright restricting to duplicating their work by the others. And even publishing houses who are publishing your books will ask for the patents. Will ask for that particular copyright, whether you want to retain copyright or whether you want to sell them. If you sell them, one time royalty will be given to you, and they will use that republications and all that on their own without asking you any permissions. But if you retain your copyright with you and only sell, the authority of publishing the duplicate copies, then they will publish only 1,000 or 2,000 copies, and after that, if they want to reprint it, they have to seek the permission from you again by paying you the royalty. So there are various things that you can create the kind of things here. Journals, we are moreover concentrating on peer-reviewed journals. Today, most of the research journals are peer-reviewed journals. What is peer review? Peer review or referred journals have an editorial board of subject experts who review and evaluated submitted articles before accepting them for publication. So now I'm talking out of my own experience because I'm a peer review member for many good journals in the scoopers and in certain kinds of things. Many articles will come to us. So where we have to give expert opinions. What are the various weaknesses that we identify in the young researchers while we read their research articles? Abstract is well defined and everything is well defined. The major problem that will be emerging there, the data collected may not be matching with the objectives or may not be matching with the title of the questionnaire that they have made may not contain all the objectives necessary for that. or the sample design what they have collected to prove the hypothesis or to test that particular things or define the quality of that particular research work may not be appropriate. Many people have a confusion relating to sample size, whether it is a probability sampling or non-probability sampling. They use recklessly certain words like simple random system. See, simple random system is not possible in most of the social researches where you are collecting the data from the through the questionnaire or through the schedule, because the bowl size you cannot aware of it. If at all you are conducting a market survey for electronic vehicles which are introduced in the market, how the customers response towards these electronic products, can you have a possibility of any kinds of these what you call as probability sampling method? You cannot have probability sampling method because there is no list of the electrical vehicles of the country available in one single website where you can select only people from that list. So normally what you do, you apply convenience sampling, which is non-probability. So these are the mistakes normally committed by most of the people, and these articles are rejected at the end. So even if you ask them to change that particular thing, say if I change the word, the whole process of research will also get changed. One of the researcher I told, your sampling method needs to be simple, judgmental sampling rather than stratified random sampling, because you cannot go for a probability. He submitted the report back again, just changing that particular line, mentioning that this thing. But if it is non-probability, and if you are written as a probability, the test applications will also change. For example, if it is a probability sampling size, parametric test will be applied. If it is non-probability, non-parametric tests are applied. So the people don't have that much of idea that if I change this word, my this research journal will be accepted, because the outcome will be totally disturbed if at all you do not make the further changes in your analysis, also in your pattern of data collection and analysis tools also, they vary. Z test and T test are applied only for parametric tests, whereas chi-square and other tests will be for non-parametric many a time. So you should have the knowledge of that to get accepted by the peers who are reviewing the journals. So that is one more information I will give you. Now the next important point in today's discussion, as it is a social responsibility that we should follow ethics everywhere, and there is a publication ethics also. Understand and try to incorporate. This is a healthy attitude that every researcher should imbibe in him. Today, we are not feeling bad to steal anything. But unfortunate part is, if you are stealing something and if you are caught, you will be considered as a culprit and will be punished under the law. At least for that sake, we need to be ethical. Even if we may not be, there is a saying that all people are good if there is no opportunity. If there is any opportunity to commit a mistake, people will commit it if they are not getting caught. So that is a majority people. So today ethics has to be compulsorily followed, because there is a lot of what you call as legal framework available for the publications. Therefore, you have to publish. Your publication will have value only if you publish in a high quality research standard journals. Adhere to the highest standard of applicable laws accepted to publication guidelines and ethical guidelines on role, associated responsibility, and authorship and content. Therefore, it is possible only if you are publishing in a very good impact factor and very good cited journals. Then you can have this ethical practices automatically coming, because unless and until you declare plagiarism is not there, unless and until you give the substantial evidence of testing it through tools, these journals will not publish your journals. They will publish your articles. Therefore, adhere to that. That's very important. Next one is ensure the timely responding and publication of all study results, regardless of the outcome. Remember, you don't worry about the outcomes. Please go with the particular data what you have collected. Genuine data has to be taken into care and analysis has to be taken. Today, what has happened, most of the young researchers are in the mindset that whatever the hypothesis they have taken as an alternative hypothesis should be accepted. When the alternative hypothesis is accepted only, their research is successful. This is a myth in their mind, actually. Sometimes what happens, you might have assumed something and reality is something else. If the reality is not matching with your assumed value, assumed thing, you accept the reality and blame yourself that your hypothesis was wrong. What is the harm in rejecting your alternative hypothesis when the null hypothesis is at the point of acceptance? So we commit type 2 mistake every time, because we are more ego-centric, and we claim that we have a lot of experiences, therefore we may not be able to accept those kinds of things. Please don't do that. For the purpose of accepting the hypothesis, that is alternative hypothesis, what they have committed, they manipulate the data and bring the outcome as per their expectations, which is very wrong. Please understand, have these ethical values in your publications. Ensure the accuracy and completeness and lack of bias in publications. Remember, whatever the information you are publishing, it should be unbiased. Information should be gathered with an unbiased way. If I want to prove that I am good, I will ask questions only to those people who like me. Your friends may always talk good about you. It doesn't mean that you are good everywhere. So when you want to have that analysis, whether you are good or bad, 360-degree of evaluation is required. Not only your friends, other part of your professional life, other part of the people whom you contract should also give the opinion about you. Then the opinion will be having a more weightage. That is why while you are collecting the data, try to collect the substantial data which can sufficiently prove the information and have an unbiased kind of a collection of data. Don't have a bias just to prove your hypothesis is correct. Providing the clinical trial registry members of any trials and all that, use of statistical tools, whether it is what you call as having the sense or not in the data that you have collected, whether it is, for example, Cronbach's alpha test is done to test whether the validity is there with the questionnaire or not, what you are expecting, whether the same response is given by the pilot sample people from whom you have collected the data. If you collect the data from 50 people, before collecting from 1,000 people, you collected from 50 people, and that test result is tested through Cronbach alpha test, and if it shows negative, don't go for that, change that. Most of the people, what they do is they change the samples, respondents. They say that these people are not answering me properly, then I should go to them. And they will select only those people who are giving the information according to their weightage of the questionnaire. So it is very wrong. Please understand, if it is wrong, change your mindset and change your attitude and bring that particular thing. So research should always bring the reality into picture. Research should not be influenced by biases. Strictly avoiding a plagiarism. Remember, plagiarism should be avoided. We may use informations of the other sources from the other researchers, but you should always cite that. Now, in most of the cases, plagiarism is up to 10% in university PhD thesis. You can copy certain kinds of things, images and all that from other things, but you cannot copy more than 10%. It should be original report of your own. That is how you should read many articles, but redraft it in your own way, what you have understood out of that. So that should be the way of reducing the plagiarism. In certain cases, it is acceptable to 10%, 20% and all that. So better to reduce the plagiarism to a minimum level. And if at all plagiarism is there, check whether it has got a references. If it is references, referenced cited information should be avoided out of testing the plagiarism, and then you can check the plagiarism accordingly. Plagiarism issues in publication, that is quite common, that I have already discussed. Plagiarism has been defined as a Encyclopedic Britannia as the act of taking the writings of other persons and passing them off one's own, taking from the others and labeling it that it is our own idea. This is what we call as plagiarism. Plagiarism is the use of others' published and unpublished ideas or words without attributing or permission and presenting them as a new and original rather than delivered from an existing source. The internet and the effect of plagiarism is to mislead the readers as to the contributions of the plagiarizers. This applies whether the ideas or the words are taken from the abstracts, research grant, applications, institutional reviews and all that, board of applications. So now there is not so easy to hide the plagiarism because internet and open sources are easily identifying the plagiarism, and it will also identify the source from which you have taken, because the data what you have taken is already published somewhere and it is already indexed and it is already cited. So therefore, that kind of citations can easily be identified by the plagiarism softwares. Please aware of it. Why do people normally plagiarize? Because of ignorance. They don't know that what I'm stealing is identified. So plagiarism normally happens. Lack of knowledge on the ethics or scholarly writing, poor writing skills, and ambition to write more research papers, or fierce competition. I want to get more citations and all that. With that particular fond, people may get into plagiarism, and if it is caught, it is very insulting situation. Then pressure from the seniors. Normally research guides pressurize their research scholars to publish more, but idea of publication is not there. Normally they go for plagiarism and try to manipulate that and do it. Fast publications, publish or perish system, applying that knowledge that I must and should publish. So many people will indulge into plagiarism. Next, plagiarism softwares. There are many softwares which I identify, that is Turnip, Urkun, I authenticate. Then open sources like Check Plagiarism, Plagiarism Detector. See, they're all available today with everyone. You can, before publishing, before sending it for acceptance for researches and all that, you just check your article whether it is free from plagiarism or not. If you identify plagiarisms, try to avoid those things and try to bring in your own way so that plagiarism quantum can be reduced. So it is going to help you all in this way. So body of the research article, how the research article should be: research paper title, author details, abstract, then introduction, main part of the research, findings and conclusions and references. This is the normal body. If you read any research article published in any standard journal, you will be coming to know all this. Research paper title should always depict the nature and type of research what you have done. Title should be very apt and effective, perfectly. When somebody reads it, he will come to know what the things are about. It should not be like a advertising punchline. Thanda matlab Coca-Cola should not be like that. It should be like variable identifications and all that. So we conduct normally the workshops on all this, how to frame a title, how to go for the abstract, how to write the abstract. Abstract will be having the keywords at the end. So it will help any user, reader, before going through your research article, read the abstract. It is a gist of your research activity. If he likes that, he will read further. So that is how the abstract should be. Main part of the research, where we are going to submit all that information in the form of tables, graphs, analysis tools and all that, hypothesis testing things and all that. And then we go for findings and conclusions and we mention the references. This is what the research article model is. So I'm thankful to everyone for patience listening. I don't know how best I have satisfied your expectations. It is a one-way round. So I tried my level best to present. Any questions you have, you can raise it. Thank you. Thank the Achievers College for giving me an opportunity.
Anybody has any questions? Can please address them in the chat box.
Yes, are there any questions?
Just check.
Sure.
Just a minute, sir. Okay.
Harsha ma'am,
Yes.
can I ask one question, please?
Sure, sure.
Sir, it was a wonderful session, sir. But my question is, there are certain competitive, nowadays there are people who are doing like maximum research work. So in that research, people are following AI also. Like, you have mentioned about the plagiarism and chat, like, but
Yes.
the chat GPT,
Yes.
they all are using to implement the papers. So
Correct.
what exactly we should follow for the same? Because people are taking help of chat GPT.
No, the point is chat GPT is okay. I don't have any objections in using a chat GPT, but remember what the chat GPT gives you the outcome. It is out of the research that has already been conducted. Chat GPT is not creating on its own. It is compiling already the edited information. If you use chat GPT information as it is and try to publish it out, plagiarism will easily be identified, because I've already tested chat GPT information. When you put under output or some things else, it will identify the source from which the chat GPT is taken. So remember, don't use chat GPT for publishing as it is. But chat GPT will definitely help you to get some contents, some ideas where you can develop your research topics effectively. So it will give you the inputs to think in that particular direction. If you ask to frame out that particular topic, for example, if at all don't use same as it is, because if the same keyword is used by another person, chat GPT will give the same result. That is the problem of the chat GPT. Please don't go for it. Today, you have a lot of AI tools, but be assured that AI tools are giving you the inputs, but that should not be the only content of your research. Okay, hope I have answered.
Yes, thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Really.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for a wonderful and insightful session, sir. We're really happy and delighted to have you today on this platform of the 5 days FDP, and we're very privileged enough to hear you on the first day itself.
Thank you.
As we come to an end of this first day of the FDP, there are a few instructions that I would like to highlight, and then we can quickly move to the vote of thanks session. The group that is being formed for this FDP, there are many participants, and some of them have not yet paid the fees of the FDP. So requesting all kindly to the needful, and you can share the screenshots with us, of course. And secondly, to get the certificate every day, every session has a feedback form that will be sent to your group. So session 1, there will be a different feedback form. Session 2, there will be a different feedback form, and likewise. So requesting all to please make sure that you fill the feedback forms regularly so that there is no confusion while distributing the certificates. Thank you so much, everyone, for this wonderful and patience hearing. All the speakers, I'm sure, were wonderful, and I'm sure that many all the staff have, all the faculties have gained a lot of knowledge. Moving quickly to the vote of thanks, I request Kavita madam to please propose the official vote of thanks and announce the day. Over to you, Kavita madam.
Yes. Thank you, Harsha ma'am. I, Mrs. Kavita Karambilkar, take the privilege on behalf of Achievers College of Commerce and Management, would like to propose a sincere word of thanks to our motivation and inspiration, Chairman Dr. C.M. Bhivandikar, sir. I would like to thank Dr. Valmik Sarvade, Vice President of MCA, our inaugural guest speaker, Dr. B.B. Taiwade, sir. I am thankful to our Chitore, sir, who is again a motivation and support system of Achievers College of Commerce and Management. Eventually, our vice principals who took the efforts to make this particular FEP to conduct smoothly, and it's the first day of our FEP today. Our session one coordinator and speakers, I thanks to them also. And our speaker, Dr. H.B. Deshpande, sir, who has really made sense to make the goal settings. And last but not the least, I thank our today's session two speaker, Principal Dr. Basavaraj Kunduchinnath from the Department of Management Studies, VIT Karnataka. He has guided us a wonderful information about the research publications in the pathway for the career building. And it is wonderful session where we definitely got the information, how the research should be, how the patents are, how to publication, make with the publications in different books, make your own, you can be an authors of different kinds of papers. After patent publication, how to make the different kinds of like the plagiarism tools also, how to go for the plagiarism, how to make your topic confident. Everything he has guided in our session too. I'm really thankful to our online who is supporting to make the conduction of this event, our technology team, our patrons and our advisory committee. I'm thankful to everyone who have joined the meeting, who has attended the today's FEP, and I hope this particular connect will be there for the next upcoming days, and that will be the wonderful communication for the new upcoming trends in the teaching minds, wherein this will definitely support empowering educators' mind. That is our first thought, and we all are making it successful with everyone. And I hope this will be the successful event for the first day. Thank you so much for your kind cooperation.
Thank you, madam. Thank you, Kavita madam.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Harsha madam.
Thank you so much.
Hand over to
Thank you,
Harsha, sir.
everyone.
Thanks for
Thank
your
you.
kind cooperation, giving me an opportunity. Thanks a lot. Thank you, sir.